not so long ago, I was hustling, I was grinding, and I felt big, I wasn't seeing success in whatever it is I was doing. And then it was so weird, man. I hit burnout, and I was like, damn, it's pointless because now I didn't know what to do. I felt stuck basically. And so then I read this book. So this video is all about this book and what this book did for me. And this book is Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. He's one of my favorite writers, by the way. This book did not necessarily motivate me, and the book just gave me clarity. And allow me to explain. So before I read this book, I've just told you I was hustling. I wanted recognition, I wanted results. I was not achieving anything. I was basically just running in circles, chasing my own tail. And I wasn't getting anywhere. And so this book actually helped me to look within myself, check myself. It was like a mirror basically. So now allow me to just share some lessons I learned from the book with you guys, by looking at these notes that I have here. And so Ryan Holiday expresses himself in the book, I quote, "Impressing people is different from being truly impressive." That's one of the quotes he says in the book. And so what I learned from the book personally was that as individuals or as human beings, we are not necessarily special as we think we are. There's nothing wrong with you thinking or feeling special. As imperfect humans, we like to overthink it. We like to think so much more of ourselves than necessary, And so I learned that, I realized that I was trying to impress people in my performance and production. Rather, living a meaningful, fulfilled life is actually growing, as an individual and doing things in silence and actually growing personally, feeling yourself first before putting into other people. One other lesson was, I quote from the book, he says, "You can't learn if you think you already know." This one taught me about humility. We go through life thinking we know it all or we better than other people, and when we put ourselves in other people's shoes, we tell ourselves, I could have done it better, without realizing that everybody in life is on a different path and that their situation is not clearly the same as ours or how we see their situation is. And so that thought really helped me to sit myself down and analyze things from a different perspective, in a sense that in life, if you approach life from the aspect of being a student, you learn so much more, you grow so much more, you become very empathetic and really better as an individual from that aspect when you are humble than with pride where you feel like you know everything. One last one I learned from the book. I quote from the book. Ryan says, "Ego whispers, you might fail, you are not ready." In the book, I learned that the ego we have within us sometimes transpires as fear. The fear we feel sometimes is just the ego in us. Because of that ego or that fear, it holds us back from doing what it is we need to do or what we should do to better our life or whatever situation that we are finding ourselves in. And this is something that I want you to also learn from the book if you are not able to pick it up and actually read it. This is, I think, the message from me to you from the book Ego is the Enemy, that you could actually apply to your own life, something that could shift your mindset, And it's the fact that sometimes we find ourselves in a situation where we feel stuck, and we find ourselves in a situation we feel like this is a problem, and and like it's a complete frustration moment, and things not going well for us. And so in the book, I learned this trick that you need to check your ego, because in most cases your ego actually tells you that this is a bad situation, this is a roadblock, this is a moment where you are stuck and you can't do anything about it. But because your ego is involved 99% of the time, 90% of the time, it's just your ego, and only 1%, only 10% the problem. So what does this mean then? It means that you need to check your ego, in a sense that ask yourself, is this frustrating moment, is this thing that feels like a block, like a roadblock in my way for me to, that's stopping me from continuing to go this route or doing this thing, is it really a problem, or is it just my ego? I in reading the book, I was like, wow, and I could honestly relate, and I felt like I have found myself in this situation many times, and it really, my ego stopped me from doing the thing that I needed to do or that I should have done at the time. And that's simply because I was allowing my ego to win, because the truth is 90% of the time it's just your ego. Remember how I previously explained what ego is that feeling that you know everything, is that feeling that transpires as fear, and because of not wanting to fail, it stops you from doing things. When you check it and actually truly understand it for what it is, it frees you, it clears you, and actually gives you a proper mindset to decide on what the next move should be, basically. This book completely just gave me a different outlook on life and everything. So instead of me always wanting to prove myself, I should stop and think about how I should improve my life and my situation as an individual, Instead of chasing for validation, chasing cloud approval, maybe chasing subscribers, I should live my life, live my truth, live in the moment. Yes, I learned so much from that book, Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Pick it up if you're able to, and I guarantee you will learn so much from it. It will help you look yourself in the mirror, understand things about you that you previously didn't know, or maybe things that you were overlooking. This will actually help you just readjust a little bit and actually live your life better, man, So if you've watched this video all the way to this point, please leave in the comments, ego check, letting me know that you've watched the video all the way through. Thank you so much for watching my videos, man, supporting the channel. Please hit on that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I love you, and I see you in my next video.